The latest story in the Epstein case. Lawyers and some kind of expert have said evidence shows Epstein death is far more consistent with murder. Yes, who didn't see that coming? Now, I'll go over a little bit for those that aren't familiar. Epstein, what is he worth? Like $500, $600 million. Found dead in his cell a couple of weeks after they claim he tried to kill himself. It's a very complicated story, and nobody believes the guy killed himself. There's some more information outside of their statement here that, sure enough, we all expected. Video from camera outside Epstein jail cell, unusable. Okay, and this is from yesterday. Who could have seen this coming? You know what's really funny is how many mainstream journalists have tried playing the game of jails are just corrupt. It's just a problem of a bad correctional system. And everyone, and I mean everybody, okay, I know it's a little hyperbolic, but almost everyone is saying the dude was taken out because he was going to bring down a lot of powerful people. Well, I'll tell you this. His lawyers are refusing to back down, saying they were working with him. They were planning an appeal. They had a strategy moving forward. So you got to understand one thing about the lawyers here. Whether or not you think they're being honest or not, the point is they were working a job. They likely had a retainer or a contract or something and said, we're going to do this. It doesn't, I guess the concern is, or the idea would be, you never know why someone might end their lives. But considering the evidence, apparently he had a broken bone, the hyoid bone, right? But what wasn't released until later by the lawyers was that apparently he had 2 broken bones in his neck outside of the hyoid bone, which they said was more akin to strangulation. I gotta say, man, to what, we talk about Occam's razor, okay? The simple solution tends to be correct. Sorry, man. The story's coming out now saying the camera outside his cell is unusable. Oh, please, dude. You know what? They've jumped the shark on this one. It is so obvious at this point. The simple solution is that the dude was killed. So let's do this. Let's read why the lawyers think he was more likely to have been murdered. Before we do, however, I want to stress this. I have a new channel. In the description below, you will see a link for Timcast IRL because I'm about to go on the road, and there's going to be travel vlogging and field reporting, and it's going to be admittedly less important content. But there's another reason why you should subscribe to this channel right now. It is another branch, another backup, a backup for a backup. Okay, I have multiple channels specifically because you never know when you get the axe. It's possible that at some point YouTube hates me, they just get rid of everything. It doesn't matter if I have a backup channel, but hey, this channel is going to be much less political. I got one video. So subscribe because within the next week or so, you will see videos from this behind the scenes and on the ground. But let's get back to the story about Epstein. The Hill reports, attorneys for financier and accused trafficker Jeffrey Epstein said his death in federal custody was, quote, far more consistent with assault than suicide in a court hearing Tuesday, according to Newsweek. We did not see a despairing, despondent, suicidal person ahead of Epstein's death on August 10th, one of Epstein's attorneys told District Judge Richard M. Berman, according to Newsweek. The lawyer said they could provide further evidence backing their claims. His lawyer said the medical examiner who ruled Epstein died by suicide had only seen 9 minutes of footage from a single security camera before making the determination. And what about the broken bones in the neck? Why would that be enough to make a determination? I mean, maybe, I don't know. At the same hearing, federal prosecutors asked Berman to end the proceedings, while Epstein's attorneys asked him for a formal investigation into the death. The Justice Department and FBI have already announced multiple probes into Epstein's death. Attorneys representing women who accused Epstein of sexual abuse and rape have also asked Berman for an independent probe, saying their clients would be more confident in the outcome of such an investigation, according to the publication. Here's a quote. "We have a profound problem with the conclusions of the medical examiner," said one attorney, with another telling Berman, "there are conspiracy theories galore. What if the tapes only broke down on the day he was killed or he died?" And inviting Berman to tour the Metropolitan Correctional Center, where Epstein was found non-responsive. Attorneys argued Epstein lacked motive to take his own life, saying at the time of his death, the registered offender's legal team had decided to pursue an appeal challenging prosecutors' ability to pursue the case that they believed had a high chance of success. Listen, I really do think we're at a point now where, look, one of the guards wasn't a guard. They falsified, the logs about what they were doing. Everything about this makes no sense. The guy had previously been accused of trying to kill himself. Then they took him off suicide watch. They put him in a room where it was possible. Like, nobody believes that was the thing, right? And we have the story now about the camera outside Epstein's jail cell being unusable. Let's read this. But I do want to make one point. Listen, I'm not saying any of this is absolute. I'm saying it's interesting the lawyers are bringing this up. It is entirely possible that even with the chance of appeal, Epstein just ended his own life. Maybe he just thought, I'm not going to win, it's a waste of time, and I can't stand being here anymore. That's possible too. I just kind of don't believe it. Now, there's a lot of stories about, suicide and self-harm where the person was showing no signs. And it's true. It's why a lot of people talk about how they aren't suicidal, and they'll tweet this out like, and it's almost become a joke at this point. But I think people are half serious when they say it. So I'll say this. First, I don't use drugs, period. Never in my life. I think I've smoked pot like once or twice 15, 16 years ago, from, just like general peer pressure. Not a fan. I don't drink. I maybe have 1 or 2 drinks per year, if that. And I'm quite happy with my life, and I am enjoying everything that I'm doing. And I look forward to the future. Very much so. I'm a pretty overall happy person who's very much in control of their emotions. So let me just state that for the record, because people seem to do it. I know it's silly, but I'll say it right now. I am a obstinate individual, and I am extremely passionate, and nothing will stand in my way in all endeavors. So if anything happens to me, trust me when I say it was murder, or, whatever it is, someone else did it to me, because I don't back down under no circumstances. Okay. And look, man, I got my van ready to go. We're gonna do videos. I'm so excited. Everything's been wonderful. And just making that clear as we continue on with this story, and the video will likely get hundreds of thousands of views, and people probably won't like that I'm talking about this, especially the media. So one of the other things they do outside of like actual physical harm is character assassination. So yep. It is what it is, but let's read. The Hill reports at least one camera stationed in the hallway outside billionaire financier Epstein's prison cell, where officials say he hanged himself, had footage that was deemed unusable. While one hallway camera had usable footage, another nearby camera caught clearer video, the Post noted, adding that it is unknown why certain footage was unusable. Certain footage was usable while some was not, as well as the extent of the glitch. At the time when the news broke, there was a viral tweet going around claiming the footage was no good with no source. And I was really frustrated people were saying it, because don't push nonsense. And the tweet went viral, and there was no source. I can't tell you how angry that makes me. But now we have an actual source later on, which shows this may be the case. They say his death in federal custody while he was awaiting trial, yada, yada, yada. We know all this from the other story. He was jailed at MCC. Attorney General William Barr said he was appalled and angry over the circumstances. Lawmakers have continued to demand answers about why Epstein, who had high-profile friends and acquaintances, including Trump and Clinton, was not being more closely observed, and whether he should have been on suicide watch after initially being placed on watch in July. Reports have surfaced that show abnormalities in how he was observed, including one saying guards fell asleep and failed to check on him for roughly 3 hours during the time when he is believed to have hanged himself. They say he served 13 months in jail about 10 years ago after reaching a deal with prosecutors that has since resurfaced and garnered widespread criticism for being too lenient. He was arrested in July and charged with trafficking dozens of underage girls from 2002 to 2005. So I don't know. I really don't know what to tell you, because I don't think anything will come of this. Even if all of the conspiracies are true, what do you think's really going to happen? Do you think anything will ever come out? I will tell you this. Let's say you've got the left claiming Trump did it. They believe Bill Barr did it. And you got the right thinking the Clintons did it. And it's like, you know what, man, I don't care who you think did it. Let's just say there's a secret cabal, whoever's in charge. I don't care. Do you think anyone who discovers this is going to be able to tell you about it? It'll never happen. It'll never happen for 2 reasons. First, if they were willing to end Epstein, over this, why would they allow anyone else to come out? Now, admittedly, things are starting to stack up. And if the prison guards and lawyers start disappearing, people will get suspicious. But in the end, what are you going to do about it? What will you do about it when they tell you? There's a story, apparently, that a journalist writing about Epstein woke up to a bullet in front of their apartment door. And they knew what it meant. And I'm sure things like that, if it's true, would be happening today. So there are going to be people who say it's just not worth it. Life is too good. I don't want to get involved in this. The other thing is, let's say someone in government discovers there was a conspiracy and decides we need to do the right thing. But an embarrassment of this scale is bad for national security. It just is. It shows the weakness, ineptitude, and so they'll keep it a secret. Even if the good guys catch the bad guys, they're not going to tell you. This is going to get swept under the rug, and it will disappear. I assure you that. I'll leave it there. But a lot of people have been pointing out how all of these other stories are gaining traction in the press, and the story of Epstein is kind of disappearing. Well, yeah, let's be real. First of all, there's not going to be a story about it every day. I mean, things are weird for sure. Like the Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever you pronounce her name, with the photoshopped image behind her. Like, what is going on? It's weird, right? But here's the thing. Even when the government, the good guys, whoever find out, they won't tell you. Because it'll make them look bad. It'll make the country look bad, and they'll sweep it under the rug. Maybe they'll get rid of the bad guys. So maybe there's still some good here, but I doubt we're going to hear anything about this. So I'll leave it there. Stick around. Next segment will be coming up at 4 p.m. youtube.com/Timcast. Stick around, and I will see you all then.